What's going on, guys? This is Frank Rock. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel coming at you. Tennessee wraps up a pretty good day for Tennessee athletics today. This was the culmination of what I would consider a very good day. Now, the weekend's not done in a couple of sports for sure, but this was an excellent day for Tennessee athletics. I come into this one tonight, I really kind of did not care going in if Tennessee won this game or not. But once this game got going, we got to that fifth inning. Mississippi State's antics pumped old Frank up. They brought the outlaw out, and I was ready for Tennessee to take care of business. I'm going to get into that inning. I've got some beef with that inning. Numerous things with that inning. Before we get into it, make sure you like it, you share it. If you've not already and you like the content, make sure you subscribe on here. Had a lot of stuff on here today. The Chaz Lanier commitment to Tennessee today. I've been on that one for weeks. There's been a lot of people I've seen all around people going on about, oh, he's Kentucky bound. He's not coming. It's NIL and stuff. This entire time I've been consistent. I said it's going to, that I felt confident it would happen. I've had Kentucky fans coming on. I had one who was the worst of the worst, kept coming on here. Come on, I was setting up in Asheville about 4 something, waiting on. I've been watching all day. I had the video ready to go, claiming some crap that she put on there. And I just sat and waited, and then just gave a mic drop. She deleted her comments and probably won't be back on there. It was on that Tennessee softball beats Alabama tonight 3-2, and then Tennessee takes care of business tonight 6-5. They go on to play Vanderbilt tomorrow, and Mississippi State rubbed me the wrong way tonight, and I'm not going to sit here and lie about it. If the projections come out, Tennessee's the number 1 seed. I think Tennessee's the number 1 overall seed. You know what? By God, bring it on. At some point, somebody's got to buck this trend to do it. Why not Tennessee? Why not? Why not just win the SEC tournament, get the number 1 overall seed, and then buck the trend and win the whole national title? Why not Tennessee? Somebody's got to do it at some point. Might as well be us. But the thing that got me really with Mississippi State was, number 1, the guy swung, and Mississippi State pitched a fit. There were the guys stand up hollering, cussing the umpire. Listen, whatever, man. Whatever, but you can't. I remember Drew Gilbert a couple years ago getting tossed against Notre Dame for cussing the umpire. Now is it a double standard? If Tennessee would have been doing that tonight, all these coach living legends of baseball that are out here that think they know it all, they think they're God's gift to baseball, would have been talking about how that's not the way we play the game. But I guarantee you tonight, since it was not Tennessee, it was somebody against Tennessee, it was okay on that. But, I mean, whatever, but, it is what it is. You can't do that. They're doing it. Mississippi State's coaches in the dugout running their mouth, they were just punks tonight. Nothing more but a bunch of punks. And here's what you don't do. When you've got a team who's, Tony Vitello mentioned it, checking the boxes. They're trying to check the boxes this week. I don't think they're worried if they win or lose in this thing. They weren't worried about it against Vanderbilt the other night. They threw their midweek guys. They threw Snead then. I'm going to talk about Snead. I'm going to talk about Beam. I definitely want to talk about their velocity tonight. I was pretty impressed. I liked what I saw out of them. Queens found out when Tennessee played Queens. Queens was up. Their pitcher started jiving. He started dancing a little bit. Greg German, you just hit the nail on the head. They poked the bear. You do not wake a sleeping bear. I just watched one walk down my hill within the last hour. As a matter of fact, I didn't go out there and mess with him either. I didn't want to do like Mississippi State and mess with the bear who's walking down my hill. All right. Mississippi State poked the bear. They awoke the sleeping bear. They're going to the house. Now, here's what I would tell you, Mississippi State. If you didn't like it, if you're in that regional where you're the first 2 seed and you're with the 16th one, win that, come to Knoxville and do something about it again. Because you sat over there like a bunch of punks after Tennessee took care of you tonight. That's what Mississippi State baseball is. They're nothing. They are absolutely nothing on here. They come in. I love the fire tonight. It fired me up. I wanted that fire because I didn't really care about this tournament until that happened. Loved it. Loved the energy in that tonight. So I'm going to get to that fifth inning. I want to get to that. Before I get to it, let me look at some comments here. Got 37 of you in here. If you have not already, share this thing out. Let's get this thing out there. Let's build it up. Hopefully when we get to regionals next week, we can build this thing up. All right, we're up in the 40s. Let's go. Tip Jackson, what's up, man? Good to see you on here. How about them Lady Vols tonight, Tip? One away from the College World Series. He says, go Big Orange. Devin Arnold, their antics remind me of Kentucky's softball type antics. Good win and go Vols. Yeah, they were lit. To each their own. I don't care. I've seen all these antics, all this. I don't have a problem with them. I'm not one of these old school guys that you shouldn't celebrate. You should just put your bat down or your glove and go on. I love the celebration. I love the energy. That's what makes college baseball what it is. I've seen it. It's kind of infiltrated the pros a little bit, especially when you get to October. We've started seeing, I mean, we saw it a couple years ago when JT Realmuto hit the bomb against the Braves and he slammed his bat down like Jordan Beck did. People praise that, but they killed Jordan Beck for doing it. That type of stuff's good for baseball. It's needed in baseball. You want that energy. Baseball's looked at as a boring sport. Can it be to an extent? Sure, absolutely. But that type of energy, this is what I like about the SEC tournament, is that type of energy. I just hate it for the most part. It's really kind of pointless. But, you know, it is what it is. Ronnie Freeman, good to see you in here. You and Devin Arnold, Tip, all three. Great day for the Vols, baseball, softball, and basketball. Absolutely. Made my day with Chaz Lanier on it. Made my day with the Chaz Lanier commitment just because, I don't know, I kind of felt it. I've kind of add another one to the owning Kentucky list. Tennessee beat Kentucky in basketball in Lexington, beat them in football in Lexington, beat them 2 out of 3 in baseball in Lexington, won the series. I'm just going to say old Frank Rock owned Kentucky fans too coming in. Told them the whole time. I don't come on here BS about this stuff, my videos and stuff. They're not clickbait. I'm not on here to try to, I want to gain views. I want to, build subs, all that stuff. But I'm not going to do it by lying or BSing or none of that stuff. I'm honest. I do my research on it. I look at all sides of the coin to see what's going on it. Then I try to bring the news on here. I'm not just spouting off a bunch of BS. And people may realize that at some point with it. Barnes, Weekly, and Tony kicked ass today. Absolutely. Absolutely. Great day for all three of them. Let's hope Weekly and Tony kick a little more tomorrow as well. I think I've heard some of you say Sean Spark. I'm not sure who that is right now. Definitely need to check out that. Both called the Chaz rumors. I just thought it was consistent with Chaz. I mean, I know NIL was out there, but, people thinking Tennessee won't pay some NIL, they're being naive on that. Tennessee was going to pay. I don't know if they had the highest bid or anything. If anything, my guess would be BYU probably did, but he wasn't going to Kentucky. Kentucky might have made it interesting. Tennessee had it figured. Rick Barnes and the transfer portal. This thing is tailor-made for him and what he's doing right now. You get a guy that's going to the combine. I don't know what Chaz Lanier's feedback was. Now, I know I'm getting off topic a little bit, but I definitely was going to talk some Chaz Lanier tonight. I don't know what his feedback was, if it was that he needed to work on defense or maybe he's not even ready for the pros. I don't know. I don't know on that, but the Dalton Connect factor you looked at last year, hopefully Chaz Lanier comes and does the same here. Greg German stayed strong. Chaz is home. Miles, what's up, man? Good seeing your BaseVols. Got to take those Vandy boys' souls tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't want to lose to Vandy tomorrow. I've said this entire time that I want to win. I don't really care about this tournament. Now that we're in it, you're going to be looking at if Tennessee does lose to Vanderbilt tomorrow, they're losing. They will have lost basically what I would consider the season series because that'll be 3-2 for Vandy. This is the rubber match tomorrow. Got to think Xander Sechrist is going tomorrow. Snead coming through a little bit tomorrow. Tonight he'll be available. Got to think Cannell's probably available. He only threw 4 pitches. I would not be surprised to see AJ Russell tomorrow. If they do beat Vandy tomorrow, I have no clue what their plan is going to be for Sunday. I really don't. You're probably looking at midweek again, and it may not be a good thing, especially with the way LSU and South Carolina are both swinging the bats this week. They're both playing pretty good baseball. Alluded to this earlier. Mississippi State poked the bear. They messed around and found out. We'll just keep it. We'll keep it a little clean tonight. Banky, yes, Banky looked great tonight. Banky looked great. I thought that inning of his, I was like, this is an interesting choice, but I liked it. I wanted to see what a guy like Banky can do in that situation because he may need it later on. He looked phenomenal in that inning. Loved it tonight. Absolutely. I'm just going to put this one up here. It is what it is. It is what it is. Can't disagree. I really wanted to put, I did a short tonight. I've not done the shorts much, but I did a short. And any of you guys ever heard of the band Taking Back Sunday? I'd have loved to have done that. They had have a song that says, "To hell with you and all your friends." I would have loved to have put that for the Chaz Lanier video tonight for sure. Eric Jones, good to see you in here. Been a bit. Glad to see you here. What's up, Andy? Glad Lanier's all vol now. Congrats, BaseVols and Lady Vols softball. This is definitely an everything school right now. This school is rolling. I hate to say it's at its pinnacle right now because there hasn't been any national championships. I think for you to reach pinnacle, you got to get a national championship in something. Your pinnacle, your summit, your apex, whatever you want to call it. This thing's rolling right now. This athletic program is rolling all the way around. The final step is you got to get some national championships. So all these conference titles, all these wins are great and all. And I'm not downplaying them. I'm not. But I think, to get to where this program wants, you got to be national championship. There's Johnny Majors. What do you know? What's up, John? Chaz. I agree. That's all you need to say. Chaz, exclamation point. Barnes may have one of his best teams at Tennessee now. Yep, I agree with you. It's going to be interesting to see how it meshes and how it mixes. But, yeah, it's going to have the potential, I think, to be their best team. You guys can probably translate this one for you. I replaced the first F with an M. But, yeah, absolutely. Can not agree more. Vol. Thanks for tuning in on here. Midweek in the ship is great experience for those boys. I mean, they talked about earlier in the week, Tony Vitello's talked about that they wanted to check the boxes. He didn't really allude to that, but I think it was they wanted to see what their midweek guys had. This is guessing. They got AJ Russell in inning. I would not be surprised to see AJ Russell again tomorrow. I really kind of wondered tonight if they may let him close that one, but I like how they did it. Letting Cannell and then Snead throwing gas tonight, man. He was throwing heat. Hit 101 once on it. Let's see here. Yep, they put the Smokey Bear. Absolutely. And I thought that was the Smokey Bear walking down my driveway tonight. Nope. That Smokey Bear was in Hoover, Alabama. Yep. Golf is on the way. Yep, golf's doing good. I mean, pretty much all of them. This will definitely, this will be the big one, the football championship. I think even right now, if Tennessee were to get an SEC championship, even get to the SEC championship in football, it's been a while. it has been a while. What, 2007 since they've even been there? That was when Ainge was there, and I liked Ainge at Tennessee 3 of his 4 years. I didn't like him much his sophomore year. He was pretty bad. I mean, I didn't dislike him, but you guys know what I mean on that as far as the player. But man, that was a rough game for him. Rick Barnes, classiest coach on. He is. He's the epitome of class. That was why that was a big reason the entire time that I was very confident in that Chaz Lanier recruitment. I really thought when it boiled down to it, Rick Barnes, like I said, what I like about Rick Barnes, he is one of your older coaches. He's one of your all-time winningest coaches. A guy at that age could go a couple ways. He could be riding it out until he retires, or he can still show he wants it. Rick Barnes has evolved. He's adapted to this new era. A lot of people were questioning, well, this NIL and stuff, it's above Barnes. No, it's not. This dude's owning it right now. I feel confident based on everything I've read, and I was pretty on this one too. Cade Tyson would be a Vol if Tennessee would have pushed for it. That's nothing against North Carolina. Nothing at all. Based on everything I've read, I feel like Cade Tyson, if Tennessee would have pushed for it. Now, it may come down to Tyson or Igor Milicic, but I think Barnes got everybody he wanted in this cycle. Now, there could be some we don't know about that they visited, that they kicked the tires on and such, but it seems to me like Barnes got who he wanted and did his thing. They still have 2 spots left. I'm curious to see what they do with that. I've seen some people earlier saying, well, they need to get another scorer. I think you're going to have a really hard time getting another top-notch portal person or not top-notch portal guy with 2 spots left and based on, who you picked up and who's coming back on it. Yeah, Greg, 101, absolutely. He was throwing heat tonight. This would be interesting. Rojo says tournament needs to be moved to Nashville. Hoover's boring. That would be pretty interesting to move it to Nashville for sure. One of the commentators talked about the SEC tournament site changing. He said it needs to stay in Hoover. A lot of people's all about Hoover. I mean, it's normally a lot of the media people that I've seen are all about Hoover. I don't care. I don't just play baseball, man. Frankly, I'd like to see it come down here to Greenville, South Carolina. I think that'd be pretty cool for it to happen there. But Nashville would be a good site for it. That's, a common place. You could send it down somewhere in Atlanta. I don't think you do like where the Braves play now. I can't even remember what the name of Truist. I don't think you could do there. I think that would be probably too big for it. ACC's doing Charlotte this week, right in the middle of the city. If you've never seen, I've never been to a game there, but I've driven by. It's right in the middle of the city. It's the AAA team for the Knights. That would be an interesting one to go to. I'm sure there's some fields in Florida that would be pretty good for it as well. Some of those minor league parks, but I think those are pretty ideal for it. And, once this new Smoky Stadium finishes, I'm not sure the year on that. Who's to say that couldn't host it? Even though that's basically going to be like a Tennessee home tournament. But, at the same time, if it moves from Hoover, it moves. If they do away with it, that's fine as well. I just really don't care. But, these tournaments aren't going anywhere. They're money makers. That's what they are. 9 wins in the last 4 SEC tournaments under Vitello. And the thing about that, too, that's a pretty good stat right there. How many years in a row did they miss the tournament? Not just the NCAA. They missed the SEC tournament numerous years on it. And now this is becoming, Tennessee's having some very good success in that tournament. I know under Serrano and Todd Raleigh both that they missed the SEC tournament numerous times. And it was, I know when Vitello took over, it's like, well, he's got them back to the SEC tournament. And it didn't seem like much, but when you'd been kind of used to missing it, it was a pretty big deal. And then the next year, they're in Chapel Hill in the North Carolina Regional. what Tony Vitello's done with this program is pretty fascinating, especially with Tim Corbin and what he was doing with Vanderbilt owning that state with the Vandy Fund and their advantage that they had going on, which NIL has evened out now. But some of you have probably heard me on that. When I was on the other channel I was on, we had one of the guys from Spire on, and my specific question I had for him is, how is this NIL going to affect the Vandy Fund? And he basically went where I thought it would and saying, yeah, it's definitely going to help offset it, because a lot of you probably realize it, but if not, these baseball guys are not on full scholarships. If there is, it's maybe like one, but I would be surprised if any of them are on full. Some, probably a bit of them are on partials, but they're definitely, unless it's changed, they're not on full. Now, could they get some academic scholarship and stuff like that? Possibly, but as far as an athletic baseball scholarship, they are not on full rides for that. Now, is some of this NIL helping to even that out? Sure, it has to, and that's good for these guys. People going about football, basketball, and the NIL. To me, it benefits more of these programs that are not getting the full rides. It helps them to even it out. But, it is what it is there. On people like Hoover or the people who live there, terrible place for out-of-town fans. Would rather be on Memphis. Great ballpark there. Yeah, I've heard that. They have a pretty nice ballpark there as well. Yep, Barnes is a Hickory, North Carolina. Any of you know it, growing up, used to go over for races at Hickory Speedway. Pretty interesting place. Went over for some wrestling a few years back before COVID, too. They had some kind of local wrestling over. Hickory's a pretty neat little town, though. Rural Vol, are we chatting? Absolutely, man. Welcome in here. Good to see you in here. Come on in. Come on in the chat. We're celebrating a pretty good day for Tennessee athletics. Again, Chaz Lanier Vol, Lady Vols softball, one game away from heading to the College World Series. And Tennessee moves on tonight. And like I said earlier, a game coming in I really didn't care about. Once it got going, yeah, I was about it. All right, so let's get to that fifth inning here, and I'll get to more of your comments here in a minute. But here's a comment that's leading me to that fifth inning. Right here, Cal Stark dropping the ball wasn't an issue. I hate the hate on count. He earned his defensive trust. To me, I did have a problem with that because he was celebrating before he caught it. But here to me was the bigger issue with that. And it went from a 3-0 game. That would have been 3-0 out of the inning had he caught that ball. With that said, it was not an easy ball to catch. He was celebrating too early. He put the cart before the horse, so to speak. Here was my problem. Wasn't so much that when that happens, all right? The next two pitches from Drew Beam were excellent curveballs. You cannot tell me both of them, at least one of those two was not a strike and should have ended that inning. The umpire calls them both balls. Mississippi State then ties the ball game. They start mouthing off. They woke the sleeping bear. They got that 5-3 lead. Tennessee comes back and wins it. But my big problem in that whole sequence was, yeah, Cal dropped the ball, should have ended the inning. Is some criticism fair for that? Yes, only because he was celebrating before he caught it. But Drew Beam threw two excellent breaking balls on the next two pitches, and for whatever reason, they were not called strikes. Yet, later on, I don't remember if it was the next batter when it was, Beam threw a couple questionable curves that were called strikes. Those two he threw after Stark dropped the ball were much better than the later two that were called. Mississippi State was killing me because they were whining and crying about that. You were given a gift that you got through that you got that walk that loaded the bases. You were given a gift with it. Okay, they got that run on the bases loaded walk. Then they hit the base hit up the middle. I don't know where our shortstop is playing. I don't know if they're too far in the hole or what, but it just seems to me like any ball, I don't know, maybe they're in the right spot and it's just a hard hit ball they can't get to. But there's been numerous times now I've questioned where our shortstop is playing, if they're playing too far in the hole or what it is at that point. But I mean, we saw it after Beam was pulled. Combs comes in and they hit the hole and scored the other 2 runs. All 5 were given to Beam. I thought Beam pitched a pretty good game, to be honest with you. I thought he threw pretty well. Seemed to me like his velocity was up. I said earlier I was going to talk about velocity. Beam was throwing, I know he hit 96 at least once that I saw. That's up from what he normally is. He was amped up tonight, and then Snead come in, hit 100, 101, topped out at 101. These guys were amped up tonight. I liked it. And Beam did show me signs of being that guy from the last postseason last year. I thought he got a raw deal tonight, not getting out of that inning. He should have been out of that inning with no runs. We can fault Cal Stark for it for one thing, but I'm going to put it on the umpire because Stark, yeah, he messed up. 2 more pitches after that were strikes. At least the first one was a strike. That was a perfect curveball right over the plate. It does not matter where it's caught. It's where it crosses that. Poor umpiring in that regard. And that caused that game to get out of hand for a bit as well. I don't know what all that was all about. I seen somebody throwing some accusations out. There's some people that are big UT baseball guys on Twitter that need to drop off from it. They're just on here crying about it and stuff. You know, it's baseball. I love the enthusiasm. I love what's going on. Don't get on here and, go on if there's any fake issues going on. It's 2 teams that were heated. They were into it tonight. They got mouthy. They got chirpy. All right. Tennessee was chirping at the end. I was downstairs when I was doing. I said, chirp away. Let them have it. And I'm pretty sure Blake Burke turned around and let them have it at the end. He was mouthing. He tipped his cap to him. Tennessee should have let them have it for every word it was. And if people want to call it classless, you call it what you want. But the bottom line is Mississippi State, again, I've said it numerous times, they poked the bear. They woke up the sleeping bear. You don't do that. That's what they did tonight. You don't give a team who's just going through the motions or just playing to play, you don't give them a reason to get fired up on it. So let's get to a little, I'm going to go through the rest of your comments here. Let's see. I think when the Titans build that new indoor stadium, Nashville might get the SEC championship. Nashville, it seems like, that's a pretty good point, may get a lot of stuff out of that. Seems like SEC championship may be one. I wouldn't be surprised to see them get a Super Bowl. They're already talking WrestleMania. Not sure if anybody cares on that one, but they do normally go to big cities and get big crowds for that. I could see them with that getting a Final Four as well. That's going to be a big boom for Nashville for sure. Let's see. Love seeing Greenville. It's a 40-minute drive for me. Anywhere. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm about 45 from Field. I know that's where the Southern Conference tournament's going on this weekend, so I would love to see it in the upstate for sure. Even up in Charlotte would be pretty cool. Chattanooga, building a new ballpark for there. That'd be a good spot. That's right in the middle of a lot of them. Let's see. Beam was pushing blue calls that created that inning. Yeah, and Frank Anderson come out there on that as well and kind of calmed them down, calmed the waters a bit. And then, Mississippi, I'll give them credit after that at bat that the next at bats they should not have gotten, they made them hurt. Look, you got to give them credit on that one. But the ump blew that one. The ump screwed up with his calls. But also at the same time, Cal Stark is catching that one before celebrating they're out of that inning. But still yet, Drew Beam throws 2 perfect curveballs. They're out of that inning with no runs. And this score tonight's probably 6-0 on it. Mississippi State got all their runs in the 1 inning. So let's let me pull up. Let's look at some stats here tonight. There we go. So 6-5. Aaron Combs gets the win. Nate Snead gets the save tonight. Christian Moore 0 for 3 did have 2 walks. Now, the ugly tonight, though, for Tennessee, 12 men left on base. 11 last night, 12 tonight. If they do that in the regionals or super regionals or beyond, that's going to come back to bite them. It's going to come back to get them at some point. What I did like, only 6 strikeouts tonight. That's pretty good for Tennessee. I mean, because you had Peebles and Stark, that's 2 of them. Villeneuve, that's 3. Dreiling and Tears were the other 3. So, I mean, Tony gave Villeneuve a shot, man. Villeneuve just, God, he has spiraled down badly after such a hot start, and the guy cannot even hit the ball. Now, it's kind of sad to see, honestly. I'm hoping this offseason, I mean, we can keep in mind, too, he is eligible to be drafted. I can't see it at this point. If you can't hit SEC pitching, you're not going to hit pro pitching either. But more 0 for 3, 2 walks. Blake Burke, the man of the night, 3 for 3, 2 walks. Had the game-winning home run, had the game-winning RBI, 2 runs scored for him. Amick 0 for 4 with a walk. Amick is struggling. Amick needs to get it going. We need him to get it going. I cannot remember the last time he's hit a home run, but I feel like he struggled for a few weeks now. Dreiling 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. He was hit by a pitch. Hunter Inslee 2 for 4. He's up to 272. He had a walk tonight as well. His average keeps slowly going up. He's in that 5 hole for a reason right now. He has been pretty consistent. He had 2 runs tonight. Tears 1 for 4. He got an RBI in. Dean Curley 2 for 5. I thought that was big for him because he struggled recently as well. But for him to get a couple hits tonight, get an RBI and a run scored was big. Antigua replaced him, had 2 putouts at the end. Villeneuve, of course, 0 for 1. He got smoked on a fastball. Reese Chapman come in 2 for 3. Reese Chapman, I thought, swung a good bat tonight. He's been swinging a good bat for a couple weeks now. I feel like ever since he hit that midweek home run, he's been swinging a good bat, and I feel pretty confident. They're going. Who knows who'll be the DH tomorrow and Sunday if they get to that, but I feel pretty confident saying when they get to the regionals next weekend, I think Chapman's your DH at this point. I'd said him or Bargo. I was kind of favoring Bargo, but the way Chapman's swinging right now, I think Chapman's your guy. Colby Backus, pinch ran. Cal Stark 3. I thought Cal had another home run tonight. He hit one deep. Had a strikeout. And then Cannon Peebles 0 for 2 with an RBI. This is what I talk about. You had the 1 run, and I'll kind of share here again in a minute. I'll pull the screen back up. This is what I harp on. When you have less than 2 outs, you just put the ball in play. They were shifted more. Mississippi State was. They were playing a bit of a shift on Cannon Peebles. He kind of hit it to that hole. Yeah, it got to force out and would have made it a 5-4 game. But the second baseman from Mississippi State made a pretty bad decision. Just I don't know what kind of a throw that was. It was horrible, but it benefited Tennessee. I think it was Curley. Never stopped at 30. Come on around, made it 5-5. Of course, Blake Burke later on hit his bomb that ended up winning the game right there. But that, even at first I was like, oh no, don't tell me it's a double play, but it was not even close on that. It's why you got to make things happen. Peebles did a good job. He hit a good ball. He hit it in a perfect place for that. Worst case, you put it somewhere to at least get a run in. And that's what Peebles did on that one. He did strike out later, but when they really needed him in the situation it was, Peebles come through on that one for sure tonight. We got 65 of you in here right now. That's a good bunch for baseball tonight. I appreciate you guys setting up here at 11:43. We'll go on this for a little bit. We can talk a little baseball, a little basketball, whatever you guys want to talk tonight. Football 865 live going on this weekend. It's a pretty big weekend for Tennessee as well. We'll stick with baseball. Getting back to that as well. Like, Tennessee played, some of these runs. Burke with the RBI, Tears Curley, Peebles with 4 of them. So they had, of course, 2 of the runs were not credited RBIs, but that's creating runs too. That's kind of what you do in that instance. You create runs for it. So look at the pitching tonight. Again, I thought Drew Beam got a raw deal a little bit. ERA went to 4.22. He was under 4. 4 2/3, 2 hits, 5 runs. They were earned, 2 walks. One of them was, I'm just going to be frank with you guys, one of them was bullshit. Plain as that. 1 walk was absolute bullshit because he He threw two, even though Stark dropped the one, the next two pitches were, I don't know what more you want. I could see the one that was ball four, maybe. The ball three curve was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. It was not hittable. It was where you want to place it. Beam did have the 4Ks. I thought he had good stuff. Now, it'll be interesting to see what Tony Vitello says in his post game about Beam and his stuff if he talks about it. But I thought he was amped up tonight. He had some good movement on his pitches. If the umpire does his job, and again, umpires miss calls, right? It happens. I'm sure there were some missed on Tennessee tonight as well. Or I'm sorry, on Mississippi State tonight as well. But that's a pretty tough one when you go from out of the inning to the other team scoring 5 runs. That kind of sucks a lot for sure. But so Beam 4 2/3. Aaron Combs come in, put the fire out again, 2 1/3. Now he did allow the 2 inherited runs to score, but beyond that, 2 hits, 1 walk, 4 Ks. He faced 9 batters. His ERA is down to 2.48. At one point, it was over 5. I think that's pretty impressive what he's done. Banky, we talked about that earlier. Some of you mentioned Banky. 1 inning, 2 Ks, and he got the ground out with it. He had 13 pitches. I would think he'll be available again tomorrow if needed, and definitely into Sunday. 3.22. Kirby Cannell threw 4 pitches. He got the 1 fly out, and then Nate Snead come in 2/3. He got 2 ground outs. Had the ground out to Christian Moore, and then had the ground out to Antigua that ended the game. Snead was throwing heat tonight. He was throwing heat for sure. I liked the fire out of this team. I loved it. I did. I liked it out of both teams. Mississippi State did run me the wrong way a little bit. They were a little whiny tonight. Let's see. Tim Dewberry. At least it hasn't rained yet. Man, that's a fact. I've talked about this some, and some of you guys chimed in on the chat too. We've been used to some of those Hoover games going up into the middle of the night, and thankfully we've not seen them this year. I want to see what time the games. I don't even know what time are we looking at tomorrow. While I'm on the topic, I know you got South Carolina and LSU at noon. So I would say Tennessee is probably going somewhere around 3:30 to 4 o'clock tomorrow would be my guess on that one. Because normally it's like, 30 minutes after. And then on Sunday, if they are to make it to Sunday, well, let me see here. This could be Central Time. So because Kentucky, South Carolina played at 4 today. It says 3 on here. This is Central Time. So tomorrow's game will be at 1, South Carolina and LSU. So that means Tennessee will go around 4:30 to 5 o'clock. So I'll be live with you tomorrow night, anywhere in that 8 to 9 o'clock range. We'll go live the rest of the I'm going live the rest of the season on baseball, barring that there's not something unexpected that comes up or anything for sure. So Tennessee, Vanderbilt tomorrow. It's got to be Seacrest. I'm curious to see what kind of pitching Vanderbilt has available, because they did get an off day today. So that's going to save them some arms for tomorrow, but I can't see them going back to either weekend arms. I wouldn't think so anyway. I could be wrong on that. No, that's a good question, Richard. Richard Patton, good to see you in here. Does Tennessee have to play Vanderbilt twice? They do not. When they get to this point in, it's kind of strange, actually. But at this point, South Carolina, LSU, it's single elimination. Tennessee, Vanderbilt is single elimination. When you get to that point in it, they do single elimination. I think they kind of do the same thing in the College World Series. It's kind of, I'll be honest, it kind of sucks for LSU and Vanderbilt both that, if they do come up and lose tomorrow, they're done with. While Tennessee and South Carolina, if they lose, they're out because of double elimination, more or less. But, they just play one time tomorrow. The winners tomorrow advance to Sunday for sure. So very good question. Let's see. I think the Titan Stadium was mentioned for the SEC, the football championship. I think that's what that was mentioned for earlier. If they move the baseball, it'd be at the Sound Stadium, I think for sure. Single elimination is definitely in the semifinals. Yep. Gosh, I don't know how the closed captions would look with me on here. They might. I don't know if they can keep up with my accent and stuff or not. Rojo, there should be somewhere on the bottom, I think, of your screen, and I may be wrong on this since I'm kind of streaming through StreamYard, but there should be something down at the bottom, I would think, that would allow you to do it. JL, what's up, man? Go Big Orange. Yep. Top of the screen to enable closed caption. There you go. Let's see what else we had here. Bang, bang, correct. Both strikes. Ump was garbage. Yeah, I thought the ump. Now, we'll give the guy out in the field credit when that little ruckus happened. Man, he was up there quick to break that one up. Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Made that play 10,000 times. Sure, you get fired up. Cal Stark was fired up tonight. I mean, no doubt about it. Like I said, I was more upset about the pitches not being called strikes after than I was at Cal Stark. I just really was. That it happens. That was not. It's not like that pitch was right down the middle either. He could have dropped it if he wasn't celebrating. So the next two pitches were the problem for me. Those were perfect. Those should at least one of them should have been a strike. There is no way in hell that both those pitches were balls. There is no way. Absolutely not. I wish they had these things like they have on Sunday Night Baseball in the major leagues, where you guys know what I'm talking about. The I don't even know what you call them, the zone cast or whatever it is. So. Yep, that'll give me a good minute here, John. Thank you, John. Hit like and subscribe. If anybody's in here, if you've not tuned into the channel or hadn't tuned in often, hopefully you like the content, and make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Try to really be well-rounded on this channel. I've just started getting more into football with recruiting. It's funny to me, man. I've always thought football. I know football's king in Knoxville. Don't get me wrong, but as far as my content, football's content. And I felt like I've put some pretty good stuff on there. The football content just not get. It just not take yet. Hopefully it will as we get closer. I know there's other channels that do a lot more football than I do. I've been more focused on basketball and baseball for sure. But I can promise you there's going to be a lot of good football content coming up. Talk recruiting, current roster, and I'm kind of looking at some stuff, looking at the past, the present, and the future as well. So I'm hoping to bring some of that in as well. Yeah, absolutely. They were a bunch of crybabies. Now that's what rubbed me the wrong way with them. I didn't have a problem with them running their mouths. I didn't have a problem with them celebrating or none of that. I had a problem with them being a bunch of babies. That's what it boiled down to. I don't know that I'll move Amick. I don't, and here's why. I get why you're saying it. Move Amick to 8th. If I look at the lineup, I don't know who you move up. I mean, because I looked through it. I'm not going to move the DH up. Starks at 9 hitter. Curley, I'm not moving him. I mean, possibly Tears. Inslee's been swinging pretty good. I just don't want Inslee up the top. I think he's done pretty good in his 5-hole. I like him there. He's doing all right there. I think you keep it as is and hope Amick breaks out. I mean, I think Amick's better than this when he's been swinging. I don't know if it's just he's being impatient or what. He's just not swung good the last couple of weeks, but hopefully he can kind of get going there. Let's see. 2-foot shortstop side of the sack. It's a bad hit. I'm guessing that's the one up the middle. This is an interesting one. I think it's Curley more of a third baseman. I would be curious to see how many of these plays get made with Antigua at short. I think Curley's a pretty good shortstop. Don't get me wrong. I think he is, but Antigua's better on that. Let's see. Absolutely. You know, you want to mess with the best, you go down the rest. That's what happens. You mess around, you find out. I'll keep it clean on that one. Yes, Antigua had a very good inning at short. I would still be interested on some of those where I've questioned why they're getting through and maybe saying, well, maybe I'm wrong on that. I would be curious to see if Antigua gets to some of those. He's an excellent shortstop. If he gets his hitting under control, he's going to be a real deal at short. And I think he was in line, was going to be the shortstop coming into the season. Then he had the injury. Of course, they went with Christian Moore at short start, Bradkey Laurie. Then when you put Curley in, I mean, Curley come out guns a-blazing. And then he's cooled off. I mean, he's been on 9 home runs for a while now. But it was good to see him get a couple hits tonight. Yeah, absolutely right here. What a throw by Cannon Peebles. And, Cal Starks known as the defensive guy. And Tennessee come close to having numerous picks tonight from their pitchers and from Stark. But, yeah, Peebles, he put it on the money. And I thought that guy got a pretty good jump with it. Heck of a job by him. Peebles did a couple big things on that. He got that throw out, and then, he just put that ball in play that enabled them to tie the ball game. Let's see what we got here. Bargo got a hit last weekend against South Carolina, but he's not been that hot. I'm going Chapman right now. Yeah, Cannon is a switch hitter. He seems to be much better from the left side, though, from what I've seen. Can't put this one out there enough. Chaz Lanier. I may just every few minutes here just stop and say Chaz Lanier tonight. Who knows? I'm pretty happy about that one. Had Beam gotten through that inning, if those correct calls would have been made, I think he at least goes into the 6th. If he would have had a quick 6, he could have went 7th. I thought he was cruising along. I thought he threw good tonight. I really did. I thought he got an unfair result out of it. It was kind of, it is what it is. Is what it freaking is on that one. 8-6. I don't think they'll get any commit. You never say never. They could always get, I mean, they got Peyton Lewis last year. I think a lot of these guys, now you get some of those recruits who get in, get caught up in the moment. How many times have we seen these guys over the years that every visit they take, they commit somewhere. And then the end, they have to re-announce where they're committing because they've committed so many times. But 8-6 Live's a big weekend. David Sanders in. You've got some of those defensive linemen, the one out of Alabama. I think it's Smith that's in. George McIntyre's down. McIntyre's down there recruiting Sanders for sure. There's some talent on Rocky Top this weekend in Knoxville for sure. And, the main thing with 8-6 Live, I think it's a fun event. It's mainly about building those relationships. You continue to build on that. Set yourself up before you get early signing day. Because Tennessee has to close on some of these recruitments this year. They didn't close on enough of them last year. They still had a good class, but there was a lot of them. Sanders, looks like we're, just got to close with him for sure. 3rd unofficial visit this weekend. He's not that far away in Charlotte. You got to think in the fall, if he's not committed when Tennessee plays NC State, Charlotte, it being right there at his home, he'll be at that game. He'll take an official visit, I would think, at some point as well. So, Tony and Snead fired up. I loved it. I understand why they went to Combs right there. It was a good situation, I thought, because you were trying to come in and put the fire out. Now, he did give up a couple of inherited runs, but you could have went a couple different ways with it for sure. They could have went Banky right there. I think the ideal was for Combs to come in, did what he did, and he put the fire out, and he enabled Tennessee to come back, kept them in that. Christian Moore was ready to tear somebody up tonight. That is for sure. I don't know what all was said or what all was. Looked to me like it was a coach that was out there for Mississippi State doing a lot of the mouthing And them coaches cried and whined for Mississippi State. Good Lord. Like I said, I would like to see it work out. And I guess sometimes be careful what you wish for, but I'd like to see it work out if they're that first 2 seed and Tennessee's the overall 1. They beat Indiana State if it goes that way. Bring them to Knoxville. See what happens. But Mississippi State's a pretty good baseball team, too. Let's make no mistake about it. I'll give them credit. They are a good team. They definitely turned it around because it was talked about. Their coach was on the hot seat at one point, and then they turned it around. Oh, Jake to win the whole thing. Yep. I at this point, somebody's got to do it at some point. Win the SEC tournament, turn around, win the national championship. Who's to say it can't be done with it? And I've talked about overusing your team and your pitchers. I don't think they'll overuse their pitchers this weekend. They're not going to risk that. But at the same time, with who's left, I'd be curious if Tennessee gets to Sunday how they'll go with their pitching on that. It's going to be very interesting. I wouldn't be surprised to maybe see him start Dylan Loy. That's a guess on my part, too. I don't think they would bring Stamos back. I mean, Stamos went, into the 4th inning? If I'm not mistaken. You're not bringing him back. I think Causey's done for the weekend. Beam's done for the weekend. We'll see. Definitely, if they get to Sunday, we'll see A.J. Russell again. I really think they will, as long as he's not having some kind of soreness or something. But somebody's got to buck this trend of number ones not winning it. Might as well be Tennessee. Might as well. Let's see here. Let me look at some more comments here. Let's see here. So I'm going back to looking at tomorrow. We know Xander Sechrist goes tomorrow. It's got to be him tomorrow. I'm going to see if I can find some Tony Vitello comments here tonight. Let's see what they got. Somebody asked about Zane Denton right there. I think Zane Denton's done. I'd seen it speculated earlier in the season that he may come back next year. There's no way. I can't see that one. To me, kind of reading between the lines on that one, I think he was pretty set on getting drafted, going to the pros last year. It did not happen. I just don't think he had, I've seen some stuff and Tony Vitello talked about him, said he was in a good place. He talked to him a lot. Part of me just wonders if he wasn't just done with college baseball after last year because, like I said, I think he really wanted to go to the pros. I don't see it where he plays college baseball next year. Maybe he does, who knows, but he'll be pushing like 25 years old at that point. Just can't see it. And I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong on that one. Still trying to see if there's any Tony Vitello comments here. Still not finding much. Let's see. Oh, here we go. I'll say a little bit of comment. Vitello did say the priority is next week. Xander's probably mad at me. We got him hot late and he was going to start tomorrow. We'll go talk about it and figure out what to do tomorrow. Ooh, that's interesting. So it does not sound like Sechrist will start tomorrow. So we post see if I can find, there's got to be more comments than this out here. Nope, not seeing anything from any of 24/7. Let's see. I'm guessing Kane is probably on it from VolQuest. Let's see here. No comments on them. Let's see for Rocky Top Insider. That's kind of my last one. And I'm saying, forget this. I know Tony Vitello's had to have had an interview tonight. All right. Rocky Top Insider's on it. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's see here. They talked Drew Beam on the brouhaha, did our best to have each other's backs, pull our weight, not worry about the other guys. Blake Burke said, got off track for a second, started worrying about them. But after that, we just wanted to have Aaron Combs back and compete. Vitello's funny, man. He's funny. And his Banky was a man possessed. He's shown that before, but the approach tonight was outstanding. He's a great jam guy for us. He's throwing like that, gives us an edge. He reiterated about the pitching tomorrow, had Sechrist hot before we tied the game. Did not want to leave here without him throwing. So we have to see where he's at tomorrow. So he could still start, but doesn't seem – it seems like it's maybe not possible. Reese Chapman said Reese Chapman said he's calmed down a little bit, can see it in his takes. He's super diligent and has improved a lot. Yeah. Reese Chapman, man, is I feel like he's had some really good at bats here these last couple of weeks. Ever since he hit that home run midweek, I think it was against, was it Belmont that he hit it? He's been swinging pretty good. I can't see this, going back to Dent. I just can't see it. Maybe he does. I've seen it too. I just find it hard to believe. I just find that hard to believe that he will, but definitely wouldn't be the worst thing to happen for sure. They're definitely going to have to replace some guys there. They're going to lose pretty much everyone but Curley in that lineup. Because I'm still thinking Hunter Ensley gets drafted. I think a team, and I compare him a little bit to Cortland Lawson, who Lawson had more power, but they both played solid defense. They didn't hit for the best average, but they just did all-around things. And that's what Cortland Lawson did. Now he's in the Nationals farm system. I expect Ensley to be one of those probably top. I mean, it's only 20 rounds. I expect him somewhere in that 15 to 20 rounds. And most of these guys, when they get drafted, they're going to go. They're going to go because they don't have the leverage if they come back. They're going to have a little bit of leverage to get some more signing bonus. If Hunter Ensley were to get drafted, decline what he gets offered this year, next year, number one, he doesn't guarantee himself getting drafted. Number two, if he does, he's going to have zero leverage on his signing bonus. And these teams have an allotment that they can offer. So that's why you're seeing most of these guys getting drafted and going. Now, it's pretty rare to see a dude return to college who gets drafted, not just Tennessee, but anyone. You do see it, some for sure. But, there were people last year wondering why Jared Dickey didn't come back. He got a pretty nice signing bonus, even though he was picked, like the 10th round. He had some leverage on that, got a nice signing bonus that enabled him to go on. So that's the thing you have to consider, these guys who still have eligibility. They have a little bit of leverage in their contract. Not necessarily their contract. I think their contracts are what they are, but their signing bonuses is where they kind of make their money on that one. Amick will come. Yeah, I think he will. I think he'll get hot again. Hopefully we'll see him get hot again. Maybe before the weekend's out. Let's see. We got some football in here. Need to get at least 4 offensive linemen. Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. I think you always need at least 4 to 5 offensive linemen. I totally agree with that. Kentucky's out. I think same with Kentucky. They're probably not that worried about it. They're more focused on big picture. 2. Jamie French is going to be here. Jamie French. That's one I forgot. Thank you for reminding me of that one. He will be here this weekend. That's a pretty good one as well. Big win. Not proud of both softball. Can't lose to Van. Yeah, I don't want to lose to Vandy either. Rubber match. Hoover, Alabama. Let's go. Let's do it. Last year's class highly underrated. I think so too. I think it's a pretty good. I think it was a pretty good class. I think it just maybe was overlooked just because of some of the misses there. But that's big boy recruiting. It happens. I don't know who will pitch. That's interesting. Vitel's saying Sechrist may not pitch tomorrow, but if he's saying he wants to get him some mound time, I still would not be surprised to see him pitch. I don't know how long he warmed up for tonight. He must have ran out there when they had everybody run out when they were getting beamed because there was nobody up, and then all of a sudden you see a lot of guys running out. So still wouldn't surprise me to see Sechrist tomorrow in some capacity, but Tennessee, Beam's going to be done for the weekend. I can't see Stamos throwing again. Snead didn't throw much tonight. Let's see. Combs threw 34. I got to think he's done for the weekend. He could possibly come back on Sunday. He won't be back tomorrow. Banky 13. He's probably good. Cannell 4. Snead 10. You could possibly see those three guys tomorrow on it. Sechrist available. Other than that, you're probably getting into midweek territory. Could you see Marcus Phillips again? Could they run Loy, Matthew Dallas? Dallas got hammered the other night. I don't know if you throw him back out again or not, but I don't think they're that worried either. I don't think they're really worried if they win. They're not going to exhaust pitching just for the SEC tournament. They're just not going to do that. Zane can absolutely come back. Yes. I just don't see it. Because he's, like I said, he's going to be almost 25 years old next year. He absolutely has a year of eligibility left. It was announced he was coming back this year. And so I don't know what changed in all of it. It was announced back in the fall he was coming back. So I am not sure what it is. Talking about Abernathy. I'm confused on that. I'm trying to think who is Abernathy right now. Basically, what you're looking at with Abernathy. Oh, he's signed. Okay, I got you. I want to see if I can find a signing or the recruiting class right now. We've not even talked about that. And some of these are kind of hard to find, too. You got to pay for everything, which, not that I'm a cheapskate, I'll pay for stuff, but these things are expensive, these college baseball sites. Let's look at recruiting here. I want to look at, let's see what I can find. Tennessee, let's go Tennessee baseball commitments. Let's go 2024. Or let's go 2025. Because Tennessee has right now a very strong class committed. Let's see what we got here. I know I've seen some talk about all right, according to, you've got to subscribe to see these. So if they've got them in order, Carson Brumbaugh is a shortstop from Oklahoma. It looks like he's the highest rated one. Tyler Wood, Lee Summit, Missouri. All right, some of you guys in the Tri-Cities are going to have to help me on this one. I've never heard of this one. Evan Hankins, first base. It says the Miller School of Albemarle. If I'm not mistaken, I remember this guy committing a few years ago. He was at John Battle. I don't know what this Miller School is, though. So I'm wondering if that's not the same guy. Taylor Tracy, Ty Thompson. You definitely see. There's a dude at Providence Academy committed. Another dude from Boone. They're hitting the Tri-Cities a little bit this year. There's another site. These are tough to keep. These are really tough to find unless you pay for something on it. Let me see what. All right, it's 14 powers is kind of it. It tells a little bit more. Let's see what they've got. No, they have. Are they still doing? They don't have 20. They must not be doing baseball recruiting anymore. So yeah, it's kind of a crapshoot. That's why not a lot of people is finding it there as well. But what year is Abernathy? I'm not seeing him listed for 25. I'm not saying that he's not. D1 baseball, they don't do recruiting. Oh, Abernathy, Kennesaw. Okay. Kennesaw, Georgia. Shortstop, 5'10", 160 on it. Oh, is it? I think this is the class Manny Ramirez's son, Lucas Ramirez, is a part of, too, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what else we got. I'm going to probably wrap up here pretty soon. See if I can find some more information on these recruiting. I don't know if Baseball America, of course, they're more prospect. Yeah, these kind of suck, to be honest with you. ESPN doesn't have much. So, yeah, these are. I'll try to get some more information and try to cover that recruiting class. Definitely want to get more in depth on that one. Basically, what I'm looking at for next year, you're looking at, I think it's pretty sure Antigua short, Curly third. And then from there, who knows? They're going to have to hit the portal pretty hard. I think Reese Chapman goes to the outfield, becomes a regular. Cannon Peebles, hopefully he, sticks around, improves. He's the catcher next year. Other than that, I mean, I don't know if you got any guys coming in. Some of your freshmen can kind of take over what, but here's one thing I will say: I trust in Tony Vitello and that staff to get it done. Though they're going to need pitchers. You're going to lose pretty much all your pitchers that are your weekend guys. Sneed will be back. I do know that. Loy, some of those younger guys, but Aaron Combs will get drafted. Causey, I feel, is going to get drafted. Stamos he's done. He's out of eligibility. Bean's going to get drafted. Seacrest is out of eligibility. So you're going to be relying on some of your Marcus Phillips, your Dylan Loy, your Matthew Dallases, your Nate Sneeds. That's going to be your Banky. I think Banky should be back next year, if I'm not mistaken. So, they have some place, but, there's going to be a lot to replace. They're going to have to hit that portal hard. They're going to have to get, I think at least probably a couple starting pitchers on it. Of course, you got to factor AJ Russell will be back and hopefully healthy. So that'll be nice knowing you have your ace. So if you can get one or two more for the weekend, that'd be pretty nice with it. But Tennessee Vanderbilt tomorrow, like I said, I think that one's going to go probably around 4:30 to 5 o'clock. Seems to me like where it's going to go on that. And I'll be live tomorrow night right after it. I don't know. I mean, the way Vitello said it, it's possible. It is possible he could go tomorrow, but he also left it to me to think that they're going to revisit it. I don't know who goes if it's not Seacrest tomorrow. I really don't. I don't know how much he warmed up tonight and how much they're going to risk that, which I understand that. But I hope you guys will come on here with me tomorrow. We've had a pretty good night on here. Thanks for tuning in. Excellent day for Tennessee Athletics. Chaz Lanier in the boat. He completes the puzzle for Tennessee. If they add, any more out of those 2 spots they got left. I think it's just icing on the cake at this point. 865 lives going on. If there's anything out of that, I'll keep you posted. If there's anything with women's basketball, it's been pretty quiet on that front. And then, of course, we'll be baseball heavy the rest of the way. Tennessee, where do they go? Of course, Monday will be the selection show. We'll know who's coming to Knoxville for the regional. We'll know who they're paired up with for the Supers at that point as well. Right now, I've seen them paired up with the Greenville regional, which is East Carolina. I have seen one that said the Indiana State, but some of them too has still got Kentucky's the overall number 1 seed. There's no way. There's no way that they are at this point. You just can't. You can't tell me Kentucky's the one when Tennessee won the conference. I know they both won. I know they're co-champs, but Tennessee's got the tiebreaker. You want to give to Kentucky, that's fine. It's really not a big deal. But especially with Tennessee going further in the tournament, I think you got to put a little weight on that. But I expect Tennessee to be the overall number 1 seed. I mean, unless Clemson is ranked 3rd. If they come up and win their tournament, do they go to the number 1? Could North Carolina do it? I don't think Carolina could. Possibly Clemson, but I think Tennessee's the one. I think they're going to be the one at this point, and we just got to hope they break the jinx on it. But I'll see you guys tomorrow night. My name's Frank Rock. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel. Have a great rest of your evening. And last but most certainly not least, go Vols.